The rain didn't fall in Seattle, it attacked. It hammered the cracked asphalt of the old logging routes like a million angry fists. Thunder rattled the cab of Noah Carter's ancient Ford F-150 as he slammed the door shut, the metal groaning in protest. His flannel shirt was instantly soaked, clinging to the muscles beneath, and his work boots were heavy with mud. His phone, resting forgotten on the dash, had buzzed a warning. 9 a.m. Interview at Ether Global. He ignored it. His focus was on the side 20 yards ahead, a sleek, jet black Maybach S600 car worth more than his entire town, buried axle deep in the slick, muddy shoulder where the road had flooded over. The driver's door opened with a slow, agonizing hiss, and a woman stumbled out. Claire Dalton was an apparition of corporate power, figure carved from expensive wool and sharp angles. Her tailored grey coat, immaculate moments ago, was now splattered with brown muck. Her metallic heel sank instantly into the clay, leaving her stranded and shaking with what looked like a fusion of cold and absolute fury. No, absolutely not. This is ridiculous, she bit out, wrenching her foot. Her dark hair, usually pinned in a severe, professional bun, had come loose and clung to her cheeks. Mascara smudged faintly under her eyes, a tiny crack in the fog of invincibility. Noah splashed toward her, the ankle-deep water churning around his legs. "You're going to snap your Achilles doing that," he said, his voice a low rumble that cut through the storm's roar. She whipped around, her eyes, the color of stormy sea ice, flicking over him with instant disdain. Faded flannel, jeans permanently caked in Pacific Northwest dirt, a mud-splattered baseball cap pulled low. He looked like the kind of man she probably paid a security team to keep away from her properties. "Imperfectly fine," she snapped, giving a final, futile yank at the trap shoe. "No, you're not." His reply was flat, devoid of judgment or malice. He crouched instantly, his large, calloused hands gripping the heel, pulling it free with one sharp, controlled motion. He handed the shoe back to her, without meeting her gaze. "Get in the car. I'll handle the tow." She held the heel out as if it were a dirty piece of evidence. "You don't even know me, lady. I don't need to know you. You're stuck, and I have a winch. The clock's running." He trudged back to his truck. As he expertly reversed the old pickup, which looked like it had survived 3 wars, toward her $1 million sedan, she noticed the network of scars on his forearms, the veins standing out taut against the pale skin. He moved with an efficient, practiced economy, clipping the heavy chain to her bumper with the swift certainty of a man who'd done much more difficult things than this. The engine roared a deep, confident rumble, and, with a wet, sucking sound, the Maybach was dragged free. Before Claire could even reach her door, Noah was disconnecting the chain, coiling it quickly. He started to walk back to his truck, not waiting for thanks, payment, or a conversation. "Wait," she called, rolling down the tinted window. He stopped, turning his head slightly, the brim of his cap shielding his face. "You're soaked. Take this," she said, holding out a crisp, folded $100 bill. He finally looked at her, his jaw tightening. His eyes were cold, professional. "Keep it. I'm already late." "For what?" "A job interview," he said, and without another word, he walked away, disappearing into the sheets of rain. Noah climbed back into the F-150. The dashboard clock glared 9:18 a.m. The interview for the logistics coordinator at Ether Global, the only thing standing between him and financial freefall, was gone. He knew it didn't matter what he said to the receptionist. He was former military, used to fixing broken equipment and managing supply lines in hostile territory, not navigating gatekeepers in designer suits. His skill set was deemed unconventional and too rough around the edges. By the time he reached the Ether Global headquarters, the Obsidian Tower, it was 9:55 a.m. He was a wet, muddy spectacle standing in the gleaming, minimalist lobby. "I'm Noah Carter. I had an interview at 9. He managed, rain dripping off his cap onto the marble floor. The receptionist, her voice perfectly modulated, didn't look up from her screen. "They've moved on to the next candidate. "Sir, Mr. Henderson's schedule is full. You can reapply in 6 months." 6 months. He needed work in 6 days. The weight of his overdue rent, the failing heat at his place, and the image of his son's worn-out sneakers crushed the air from his chest. He nodded, the sharp, choking lump in his throat preventing a thank you. He turned and walked out, feeling colder and heavier than he had standing on that flooded road. Outside, the rain had softened to a drizzle. A sleek, black Cadillac Escalade with tinted windows pulled up silently beside him. The passenger window slid down. It was her, Claire Dalton. She looked immaculate now, hair smooth, makeup reapplied, coat spotless. Her expression was softer, but her eyes were still assessing. "You missed it, didn't you?" she asked. He shoved his hands into his pockets. "Yeah, but at least you got where you needed to go. Worth it." She studied him. "Get in, M.R. Carter." He frowned. "What?" "Get in the car," she repeated, her tone brokering no argument. "I owe you more than dry shoes." He opened the door and climbed in. The interior smelled faintly of ozone and expensive European leather. In her lap lay a folder stamped with the silver Ether Global logo. She glanced at him, a hint of something unreadable in her expression. "I'm Claire Dalton. I'm the CEO of Ether Global." Noah blinked, the name hitting him like a delayed thunderclap. "Dalton, the company that had just dismissed him. You're the CEO?" "Last I checked, yes." She tapped the folder. "And unless I'm mistaken, you were heading to an interview at my company this morning. You missed it because you stopped to help a stranger." The Escalade began climbing the winding road toward the city's highest glass towers. "Your resume is unconventional," she continued, flipping open the folder. "Marine Corps veteran. 2 commendations for extreme logistical resourcefulness. 3 years running a custom fabrication shop. A flagged you as too unpolished. They were right, you didn't make it past the waiting room." He slumped back, accepting the verdict. "Then why am I here?" "Because that's the flaw in the system. They look at paper. I prefer to see performance in an unexpected crisis. This morning, I got a live audit of your character. You prioritized the immediate problem over self-interest." The car pulled into a private garage beneath the tallest tower. "You helped me out of the mud, Noah," Claire said, her voice dropping. "Now let's see if you can do the same for my company. You have one chance to prove yourself. Right now." The elevator ride to the top floor was silent. When the doors opened, the world exploded into chaos. The vast, open-plan office was ringing with alarms. A colossal digital dashboard on the wall screamed Protocol Red. Logistics Catastrophe in bold. Flashing letters. Executives hurried past, their faces tight with panic. Claire didn't flinch. She strode toward the main conference room, gesturing for Noah to follow. Inside, 3 senior managers were already mobilized, sweating over documents. "Claire, we're compromised," a gray-haired man blurted out. "The distribution tracking system crashed globally. We have 2 million units in transit across 7 countries. It's all blacked out. If we don't restore the tracking protocol in the next hour, we lose the Department of Defense $100 million contract." Claire sat down, calm, deadly focused. "So fix it, Richard. Our IT lead says it's an integrated system failure. It could take 3 days minimum." Noah stepped closer to the table, his eyes scanning the diagrams and flowcharts scattered across the chrome surface. "This is your other logistics dashboard," he observed, his brows furrowing. "I've seen systems like this or the military equivalent for supply drops in the desert. Your servers aren't down. They're misaligned. It's like having the right pieces to a puzzle, but you're using the wrong key to connect them." The gray-haired man stared at Noah, a dripping man in flannel and boots, as if he'd just started speaking ancient Sumerian. "And you figured that out by looking at it?" a younger tech sarcastically asked. Noah's voice was steady, infused with the authority of someone who deals in absolutes. "I've spent most of my adult life figuring out how to keep things running with half the parts. And no time. This isn't magic. It's pattern recognition." Claire leaned back, her expression now a blend of curiosity and fierce satisfaction. Show me, Mr. Carter. Noah pulled up a laptop. He bypassed the flash UI, diving straight into the raw diagnostic logs and server data. His fingers moved quickly over the keyboard, calling up command prompts and running complex cross-checks. He was in his element now. The storm outside, the chaos inside, all faded away. 40 minutes later, the colossal screen on the wall blinked. The angry red warning vanished, replaced by a smooth, scrolling green feed. System restored. All assets accounted for. The gray-haired manager sank into a chair, exhaling a shuddering breath. That should have taken days. It took 40 minutes, Noah said, closing the laptop. You were looking for a breakdown. I was looking for a pattern. Claire stood, collecting her folder. She didn't smile, but her eyes held a quiet, formidable pride. Mr. Carter, I think you just saved Ether Global a fortune. She gestured for him to follow her into her private office, a space of floor-to-ceiling glass, unpolished oak, overlooking the entire Seattle skyline. She closed the door. Look, I didn't mean to step on anyone's toes, Noah said, acutely aware of the squeak of his wet boots on the pristine floor. I know, she cut him off smoothly. And that's exactly why I want you here. Full-time head of global logistics operations. 6 figures, stock options, full benefits. She recited the offer, like it was a mere footnote. Noah stared, his mind racing to his son's new shoes. A proper college fund. No more stress. You put a complete stranger ahead of yourself this morning. You solved a problem everyone else said would take a week in less than an hour. You have the resourcefulness the formal process would never recognize, she stated. He swallowed hard. 6 figures is more than I've ever made in my life. Claire leaned forward, resting her hands on the desk. You missed your job interview, Mr. Carter, but you proved yourself in a crisis that only you could solve. So, the question remains, do you want the job? Noah took a slow, steadying breath. Yeah, I do. Good, she said, standing and extending her hand. Then welcome to Ether Global. As he shook her hand, her grip surprisingly firm, he felt a pivot, a tectonic shift in his life. The rain had stopped. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a weak, silver light across the gleaming city. Noah Carter, the man who had pulled a stranger out of the mud, finally felt like he wasn't stuck anymore.